everyone, Karen here. Today we're going to be making this fold-back gatefold card. Now this one is nice because to make the base you only need one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And then the fold-back part is going to be nesting dies that we're going to be using. Now this one I did oval, so I wanted to do something a little different today. So today we're going to use rectangles. So let me get this camera turned around and we will get started. Alright, so here we have our 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Now I'm going to turn it on its side and cut it at 7 inches. Make sure my arm is all the way up, so I cut this straight. Okay. And down. I can bring in my scoreboard. And we're going to bring this across. And we're going to score it a 1/2, 3, 8, and 10.5. So once again, that's a 1/2, 3, 8, and 10.5. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my trimmer because I want to trim a little piece off of this 1/2 inch. So I am going to line this up at the 1/2 inch line here. Make sure it's nice and straight. And I am going to come up about 1 inch. And then I'm going to come up here. And I'm going to come down about 1 inch. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Bring it back to a 1/2 inch. Make sure it's nice and straight. I am going to come to 1 inch and go up. Come down to 1 inch and come down. So now I've cut these little flaps here. So now I'm just going to cut these flaps off. And you could eyeball it and do it, but you want to make sure those lines are nice and straight. I am going to trim this just a smidge, just to make sure I've cut the score line completely out. Go. All right, the rest of that looks good. And this doesn't have to be exact because this is going to be behind the panels, so no one's going to see this. All right, so now let's get this folded. All right, we're going to fold this way. And you want to make sure you're folding it nice and straight. And this should meet in the middle, which it does. Right. Now, these flaps that we made are going to get folded back in the opposite direction. So they're going to kind of stick out like that. Then I'm just going to use the bone folder and come down. And it doesn't matter that they're not even, because they're going to get covered here in a second. All right, so this is our basic base. So now what we need to do now is I want to cover these panels here, this panel, and this back. So let's look at my original. You can see I put pattern paper on the inside and the outside. So that's what we're going to do now. All right, so I have everything pre-cut. So I'm going to start off with the paper that I'm going to put on the panels. And this paper is Crafter's Companion, and it came from Letters from the Heart. All right, so I'm going to start with the front. So I have 2 panels here. And I have these 2 here. And these should all match up. So I'll put these two on the inside and these two will go on the outside. So let me grab my glue. So I think what I'm using here was meant to be the B side, but a lot of times with Crafter's Companion, their prints are kind of big, and I end up using the B side more often. Because their B sides are really good. So we're going to put this in the middle. Get that right in the middle. Now we'll put this one on. And these were 6 3/4 by 2 1/4. And you're going to need 4 of those for the card. I don't think there's really an up and down here. I just want to make sure I put them on the same. All right, so that's the 2 outside panels. And once again, get back in the middle here. These were 6 3/4 by 2 1/4. All right, so there's the 2 outside ones. Now we're going to do the inside panels. So we have these going, this one will be on this side, this one will go on this side, so our flowers aren't upside down. And these are the same size as the outside, 6 3/4 by 2 1/4. This is panel 3. That just goes in the middle. And now I'm going to glue this one, so make sure it's on here straight. This one is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. All right, this is going to go in the middle. You only need one of these. 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. Make sure we have it in the middle. And I'm not worried about that. That's going to get covered up. And this will go on the end. This is the 6 3/4 by 2 1/4. One of the 4 panels. We're the same. I think my glue bottle is almost empty here. So this will be on this side. Keep leaning to the right here. All right. I missed the corner here. A little more glue on there. All right. All right, so now we have this. This folds in the middle. It's kind of going for more of a rustic kind of card here. Still with the traditional red, but a little more rustic. So now for the decoration of this card, I have cut 3 of these dies from Anna Griffin. And these are the Cardcentric Compendium dies. They came in a set. This is 2 of the 4. And she still has these on her website. And once again, these are the Cardcentric Compendium dies. That's what she calls them. So these are going to get glued on the flaps. So we're going to fold the flaps back, and then this will get glued on top. Now when I glue this, I'm going to fold this side back, just so it's out of my way, and I can see where the edge is, so I can get it nice in the middle. So now I'm going to switch to tacky glue. And we'll just put some on there. Put this down here. Hold the flap down. And then this is going to go on top. Make sure your flap stays down, and you just want this in the center of the card. Just hold it for a moment with the tacky glue grab. All right. So now we're going to do the other side. we're going to make sure we put glue on the right side here. Fold this in. So this goes this way, this goes this way. All right, so this is going to fold facing the outside of the card toward the outer edge. And we're going to put glue. And we're going to close this. We're going to bring in our square panel. And this was the largest of those nesting dies from Anna Griffin. And now I'm going to put this over here while this is still wet, because you want these edges to be lined up. So I'm going to slide that into place while this is still wet. There we go. It looks like I got a little hanger on there. Okay. So now, I have another little hanger on. Now when you look at it, it should just look like there's one panel here. And then when you open it, surprise, there's two panels. All right, so the one for the inside is just going to go in like this. So let me grab my tacky glue. And these largest ones, if you're using other nesting dies, are 4.5 by 6.5. So if you don't have nesting dies, you can just cut a 4.5 by 6.5 square and attach it to the front, and you will get the same card. All right, so I am going to put this on in the middle. Probably would have been easier to do the middle part first. So now when you close the card, it's still a little wet. You have this, you open it up, and now you have 3 panels that will stand here like this. All right, so now we can decorate. So to decorate, I have some panels that are 3.5 by 5.5, and this is the next one down in this nesting set. So you have this frame, which is what cut this out, and then there is a plain one. So I used this to cut these, and these ended up 3.5 by 5.5. So there again, if you don't have the dies, you can just cut it 3.5 by 5.5. And it will do the same thing. So I was trying to decide how I wanted to lay this out, because I wanted to do it a little different from the first one. So this side is going to say Happy Valentine's Day, and this one I'm going to stamp. And I'm going to stamp it with, some people go through their whole life looking for what we've already found. I thought that was nice for Valentine's Day. And this is from Crafter's Companion. This was the Love and Romance page out of that Verses binder that they had a while back. So I stamped the Valentine's Day first because I wasn't sure how I wanted to do it exactly. So I did it, and then I took Gina K Warm Cocoa, and I went around the edge to give it a little bit of an edge. Now, I like to do this a lot of times in my cards, and this one, it made a big difference, and I did it with brown. So that's going to go on this side. Now on this side, I need to stamp. So let me grab my stamping platform, put that to the side. In comes the stamping platform. Here's my paper. Here's my stamp. Now I am going to stamp this not in the center. And I'm going to use this to line it up to make sure they're even. Make sure you can see that. So I am going to put this here just momentarily. And I want the top of this to match this. So they're about the same size. So I want it to be about there. So we move this out of the way. Pick this up. Let me close my glue here. Now I'm going to use Obsidian ink. This is my favorite ink for stamping. And I'm probably going to have to stamp it 3 times because I'm not stamping on white. to get it nice and dark. There's one. See, it's not too bad. We'll do two. And I am using the waffle flower sticky mat, which I really like it. I've been using it now for quite a few weeks, and I really like it. And I like that you can just wash it. Because there's been a couple times I've gotten embossing powder on it and other things, and it washes right off, which is nice. All right, so we are done stamping, I believe. Put that to the side. Now let me bring in the warm cocoa and edge this the way I did the other one. It just gives it a little bit more of a finish. All right. There we go. So that is that. All right, so let me bring the card back in. Now this is curling a little bit, so I need to put some glue behind here, because this is curling up. So let me grab my fine tip bottle. Nope, I really don't want to do that. So you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use the same glue I've been using, the tacky glue, but they make it in a stick form. And I bought this about a week ago, and I've been trying it out, and so far I've been pretty happy with it. So let's see what happens if this solves our problem here. So I'm just going to take it and rub it along the edge here, because it's the same glue, just in a dry stick form. And I may have to put something heavy on this and let this dry, because I think it warped a little bit in the machine when I cut it out. Yeah, there we go. It's starting to stick. I think I'm just going to have to put something heavy on it for a moment. So I'm just going to pull this up. I am going to just go down. Because, you know, sometimes with wet glue, it warps your paper. And I'm having a hard time finding Kalal glue. So I was looking for an alternative. And I came across this in stick form. And it says it's the same glue. So let me use it for a while and I will report back. All right, so let this sit for a moment and dry. All right, that's better. So that seems to be holding. So so far so good. I think it's better than having liquid glue sometimes. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so now we are folding flat. So we're all good here. So this is going to go on this side and this one's going to go on this side. And I'm going to put those up on foam. I'm going to put them up on 1/16 foam. Now the middle, I took the same 3.5 by 5.5 paper, but I ran it through an embossing folder by Gina K. Here it is. This is the Gina K Petite Flourish. And this is a nice one. It just has a nice little filigree to it. And it's, you know, it's good for all occasions. All right, so this is going to go on here. So once again, I'm going to use tacky glue because this is the mirror card and Kalal glue does not like to stick to it. And it will also pull the finish off of it. So we will put this on here. And the middle part here is going to be flat. But the two sides are going to have foam on them. And the reason being is I'm going to attach in... Instead of using a third messaging, I'm going to put these 3 hearts here on the top here. And this will be up on foam. And this is from Anna Griffin. And these were her Botanical Valentine Slimline cut and emboss folder. It makes it really pretty folder. And even, this is the inside piece. And that's why I bought it, because I wanted this inside piece. But this outside piece really makes a pretty slimline card if you like to make slimline cards. But I wanted this piece, so that's why I bought it. And then I have little 1-inch hearts. And if you saw my other Valentine cards I've been making, you know, I cut all these out and I have a whole big pile of them over here that I've been working from. And I'm going to put 3 hearts on each side here. And that's why I didn't put this in the center. So there's going to be 3 hearts here, kind of like I did on my first card. But this time I'm going to make the hearts 2 different colors. Because my original, I had 3 red hearts. So this time I'm going to put 2 different colors. You can always vary it. You don't have to do the same thing all the time. All right, so now for this middle part, let me put the foam on it and we'll get the middle finished. So once again, this is the 1/16 foam. Let me push this up a little bit. I can put this on here. We'll put 1 strip there. And then the big heart on the bottom, I think needs a little bit more foam. So we'll put that one on that side. We'll put this one on this side. And that should probably do it. So see, that little bit of foam just makes a big difference here in the middle. Because it does go from end to end. Because I wasn't sure if this was going to fit. And it barely fits. But definitely needs the foam to give it a little height and separation. So let me pull this off. And this is the iCraft foam that I buy on Amazon in the big, huge, giant rolls. Which I just got some more. Alright, I'm going to look directly above this. So my face is right next to my microphone. Okay. Alright, so the center is all done now. So now, let's put some foam behind each of these. Once again, these were 3.5 by 5.5. Put some there. Put some down this side. Put a strip down this side. And cut that a little short. We'll put that right there. So this will be here. You can see the difference, how flat on this side and a little bit of foam on this side. A little bit of foam makes a big difference. So we'll pull the backings off. And let me look straight down on it. Make sure this is in the middle. Press down. Move my little hearts from this side. Put the foam on this side. Yes. Oh, that needs more. All right. Third piece. I'll use that little piece I had and this little piece. Let me move my little hearts out of the way. And now we'll put this on. Okay. So now we'll line this one up. And lay that down. All right, so now when we fold this over, now we have this. All right, this is coming along. Now I will say with the square, you don't see as much of the paper as you did when it was an oval. Because when it was an oval, you do see a lot more of the paper. But when you stand it up, you'll see it that way. Alright, so all we have left to do is to put the little hearts on the front. So if I have 2 hearts like this, that will be glued on, and then the little gold ones, I think, will be on foam. So let me get a couple little pieces of foam. Put on the back of the gold ones. Here's 1 gold one. Here is 2 gold ones. And these I ran through the embossing folder. So what I've been doing, and I have a couple different ones here, I've been taking the plain hearts when I cut them out and running the embossing folder, running them through with the embossing folder. I just fill up the whole embossing folder. I'll show you. I think I still have some plain ones here. What you basically do is just take your embossing folder and just lay them all out. Lay them all across and then run that through your machine and you can emboss all the little hearts. But I've been embossing all kinds of little hearts over here. I've got all kinds piled up. All right, so let's glue this down. All right. I will put one heart here and one heart over here. I think is what we want to do. And then this one will be in the middle. I think I want them further apart. That's all right. The gold one will cover that in the middle. Yeah, I think more like that. Let me wipe this off here a little bit. Pull this off. All right. Let me look here. All right, that's good. Now I'll do the same thing on the other side. Glue one down. Let me get glue on the other one. Oh, that one's ripped. Let me get a different one. Let's see. So I want it to kind of be the same as that. So I want them to be about here, I think. Let me look. Oh, that's wet. Let me measure that. That's there. Yep. They are pretty close. All right, press this down really good. And I need my gold one. There it is. And we will stick the gold one in the middle. There you go. Happy Valentine's Day. Some people go through their whole life looking for what we've already found. And you can sign it under here. So there it is. There's the finished card. And it will stand up like this, and it fits in a regular 5x7 envelope. Fold back gatefold with panels, with 2 panels on the front. So I hope you liked this card. If you did, give me a thumbs up. That's how YouTube counts everything. And if you would like to see the other cards coming up, please subscribe and you can get a notification when I post them, because there will be some more Valentine's, and then we will go into Easter and then Mother's Day. And so, until next time, stay crafty.